Coming up on the game plan with Ron Rivera. After a big win at home over the Cardinals, the Commanders hit the road, braving the altitude at Mile High for a battle with the Broncos. Coach takes us into the film room to break down what worked well in the win and reviews the Denver game tape in his office. It's game day, which means it's time to get the game plan, and it's coming your way right now. The Game Plan with Ron Rivera is presented by your local Honda dealer. Set summer in motion with the most fun-to-drive Honda vehicles yet. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today. And by the Maryland Lottery Fast Play Games. Play fast, win fast today. Please play responsibly. Welcome into the show. I'm Logan Paulson here with Ron Rivera, the head coach. Coach, first road trip this week. Kind of exciting.
Very exciting.
Anything different for you? Because that's the thing I've always wondered about for a coach. It's the first road game, tough environment, altitude, the fan base there is great. Do you have to kind of prep this team in a different way?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, one of the big things you do is you do mention the altitude more so than anything else. But the thing that we're doing this year is, and we did it a couple years ago, is what we planned is to get there a little bit later in the afternoon and try and stay under the 24-hour rule. That is, it's not supposed to affect you, get after you until after 24 hours. Told the guys, continue to work on your conditioning, because that also plays a big factor in it, and our conditioning has been very good so far.
Absolutely. And so, like Sam Howell, first kind of road game as a starter, is the prep any different for him? Is there anything you saw last week you say, man, we got to get that corrected going into the Denver game?
Well, the biggest thing more than anything else is we got to deal with the crowd noise. So we've been simulating that out
of practice. You got the loudspeakers out there?
We got the loudspeakers going pretty. I know, they are very annoying. But we got to get done. So Sam and Nick can work their cadence together in terms of the silent count. So the offensive line can get used to the snap of the ball on the silent count, and the same thing for all of our receivers that are spread out. So again, this is very important as far as the work that needs to be done.
And in terms of the game last week, anything that you saw from that performance, you say, oh man, he can build on this and really gain some momentum into week 2?
Oh, very much so. And again, just learning a little couple things is in terms of, hey, you know, I stayed on that a little too long.
I see.
I got to get off of that quicker and get over here and get the ball out. You know, or hey, on a situation like that, when I know I've got this protection, I can hold a second longer, a tick longer, and then make my decision.
I mean, he's going to have to hold it a tick longer, I think, this week too, and really work his eyes, because they've got some very talented players in that secondary for Denver. Absolutely. So let's talk about the defense, right? Defense was awesome week 1. What's the expectation for them going into week 2 against Denver? An offense that's probably a little conservative. Is that fair to say?
I don't know if I would say conservative again, because I've had the fortune or misfortune of having a coach against.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, Sean Payton is one of the great play callers in this league. I really do believe that, and he's very good at what he does. So what we've got to do is be prepared for the things that he's done in the past. He's got a quarterback with an NFL arm. That's for doggone sure, who does have some mobility. So we've got to be disciplined with our pass rushes. We've got to keep the quarterback contained, keep him in the pocket, because Russell Wilson has the ability to make plays off platform.
And that's something I've always wondered about when you're facing a quarterback like this. One of the things that makes that D-line great is they get after the quarterback. They kind of are creative. They're artists a little bit when they come to rush the passer. How do you kind of walk that line of saying, be creative, but also rush within the scheme?
Well, listen to what Jack has to say to these guys. It does make a lot of sense. The guys have talked about what their opportunities are going to be when they have a chance.
I see.
So let's be smart about that. Let's make sure we communicate along the line as to what these guys are planning to do or what they expect to do.
Well, I can't wait to watch this defensive line, this defense, this whole team get after the Denver Broncos today, because it's the game today. So we're looking forward to that. Let's take a look at the numbers this defense put up against the Arizona Cardinals week 1. Outstanding performance, 210 yards. That's the 5th fewest allowed since 2020. Awesome job. Only 9 points allowed on defense, no touchdowns. This group is poised for a big year. Time to head over to the film room presented by the Maryland Lottery Fast Play Games. Play fast, win fast, stay. Please play responsibly. All right, Coach, let's take a look at these defensive guys, man. I mean, the defense played awesome throughout the game, right? Let's talk about Cam Curl, because, you know, you said something before we started. The defensive line played really well. Everyone's been talking about the defensive line, but I feel like no one's been talking about our guy Cam. And maybe that's just my perception, but I think he did a really good job being in the right positions, playing physical. Here he is in this, I would say, quarter structure. Eyes to the quarterback. Does a really nice job matching this dig.
He does, very much so. And again, it's one of those things where, you know, as I read the releases, it's dictating to me where I need to be. We're in a middle open defense down in the red zone. We know he's basically working a quarter of the secondary, and as soon as he gets threatened, he knows he can drive downhill. Got good eyes. Eyes are working to the receiver, seeing the quarterback, seeing the release. Great break. You'd love to see him catch it.
Yeah, I'd love to see him get that pick, right? Absolutely. And the other thing I love about Cam, and I love about this defense in general, because John does a great job here too, is just playing physical in the run. You know, he's a box player for you guys a lot of the times, and like like, I've played with a lot of DBs who don't have the physical courage to take on an offensive lineman. He does that down in and down out.
He does. You know, the real neat thing about this, and what he does very nicely is, as he reads it, he gets to his gap of responsibility, puts himself in position, and then he sees what the back does, and he knows the back's going to cut off of this potential block, right? Because for the most part, if you look at it, this guy's trying to kick Cam out. So what's he anticipating the back doing? Cutting underneath.
Right.
So because of that, watch how he swims underneath or dips underneath the blocker and makes the play.
Absolutely, and great job by John here too, feeling this out. You know, he's just such a big physical man. You know, not the best technique here in terms of getting hands on guys, but is able to shed, get on the play, and make sure Cam doesn't have to do it all by himself.
But the biggest thing on that play is he doesn't let himself get removed from his crease.
Love it.
Okay, because if he lets himself get removed from his crease and gets sealed off, then what happens is he doesn't have a chance to come and help get in on this tackle. So it is a very good play by John.
Yes.
But an even better play again, like you said, by Cam.
By Cam. And then let's talk about the guys, man, who just had, I mean, just dominant performances. And let's start with Payne, man. This is that sequence where it's like, I mean, it was just like everybody came to the party. All the first-round draft picks were like, I'm here. I'm excited to play football. And I don't know how you do this, Coach, because this is this duo concept. There's a double team up front. And I like the angles here if I'm an offensive player. And I say to myself, whoop, I'm going to teleport out of the gap. And now I say to myself, okay, we're still okay. A gap's clear. Back should hit it. But he's a tremendous athlete.
Yes. And that's the biggest thing is his athleticism alone is what gives himself the opportunity to make the play. Again, the thing that he does well that helps him right there first is he steps to his crease first before he makes his move. A lot of times guys will be flat-footed and try to get outside and get blocked. But watch how he gets a little bit of movement forward, all right, and then watch how the blocker drops his head. That's where he has a chance to win, and our guy does.
And like, so love that kind of starting it off, right, with a high energy, big play. And then this play, this is a crazy play, Coach. They've got, I'm sure you've seen it, they're kind of doing this zone read on James here with their quarterback run, and it's a power, so they're going to pull the backside guard. And I love how quickly John recognizes this and gets the football.
And the same thing, again, watch how Jonathan gets going vertical. He's not working sideways. He's attacking his gap first and foremost, and then he's making his play off of that.
Yep, absolutely. And then also we got to give James a shout out here, like as the whole defensive line played really well. Casey, you mentioned, James also did a great job. But look at him, he knows he's the read man. Let's get to the football and let's make this really complicated.
And again, just be disciplined, do my job. The guy that really also needs to be pointed out too is watch what Jamin does.
Okay, let's check him out,
Jamin, again, reading his responsibility is working outside because he's going with the flow of the play. He's got his vision on his man, in this particular
would be
coverage.
His guy, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and that allows James to kind of be aggressive here. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, absolutely. And he we could have done a whole breakdown on him. He had an outstanding game as well.
He did.
So great to see all these guys showing up. Party at the quarterback. Love to see it. And then the guy who's, in the contract year, a guy who's, I think, kind of sometimes forgotten because of all the hype is our guy Montez. And you just see a big physical dude here and working to finish the rush, man. Love that. And then I know you love that ball coming out, Coach.
I do. The thing that really helps him on this is he changes up what he's doing as far as his pass rush. He comes out and got speed outside. Then he goes and he uses almost a dead arm technique where he goes like he's going to stiff arm him, long arm him, and he lets it collapse. And the guy loses his balance, and then he dips underneath and finishes the play.
And I kind of like to your point, though. I love the re-rip, though. You see how he's right here, Coach? And then we kind of get that refit of the arm in there, get in the armpit, and we get around the edge, and we're able to get the play.
Don't forget what happens on the other side.
Okay,
watch this ET stuff. This is a great job by James Smith. Again, Duran occupies, and then gets outside to contain. If Duran doesn't get outside to contain, he keeps drifting away from Montez. Again,
that's a great point.
Working together.
Yes, and then, talking about holding and people missing holding calls earlier. Check this out on James. Guys just working hard, playing hard, and it's great to see kind of a rabid pack of dogs rushing the quarterback. I can't wait to see these guys get after Russell Wilson this week, Coach, and always appreciate your time.
Thanks. Thank you.
If you like this show, you're going to love Command Center. That's the flagship Commanders programming. It is Commanders all the time. No Dallas coverage there. We cover every single game. Fred, Santana, and me, we're talking, we're cutting it up, we're having a great time. Make sure you check it out on the Commanders YouTube channel. Keep it here, because when we come back, we're heading into Coach's office to break down some of the Broncos game tape. Don't want to miss that. What should we expect from Russell Wilson and company? Find out right after this on the Game Plan with Ron Rivera, presented by your local Honda dealer. It's time for the Rivera Review, presented by DC Prime, Loudoun's premier steakhouse. For dinner reservations or private dining, call 703-840-2099. All right, Coach, Denver Broncos this week. Obviously, a little bit different offensively than they were last year. Got that Joe Lombardi, kind of the Saints influence is very strong with this team. They want to run the football quite a bit, seems like, and they want to get the backs the football because it feels like they're trying to take some stuff off of Russell Wilson.
Well, just going back from my time coaching against Sean Payton in the NFC, the one thing that you always saw was that he did have a certain number of runs that he used, and off of those runs, they're very complementary in terms of their play action, pass action.
Yes.
And that's what you're starting to see again. You're starting to see that come together, and just like you said, part of it is you do take a lot of pressure off the quarterback so he can make good decisions.
Yeah, and they've got some pretty talented running backs, and Javonte Williams is a guy that is coming off an ACL, but is very, very talented. They've got a lot of money invested in the offensive line, and they're a pretty physical football team. Like, do you approach the game? Do you say different stuff to the guys when you got a team that's got this mindset?
Well, the biggest thing you just tell them is that, again, you got to anticipate that they want to be physical. They want to play physical up front because they also want to incorporate their play action.
Sure.
That mimics a lot of this. Right here, this is basically we call a slice concept.
Yep.
And what they're doing for the most part on the backside is it's the same type of action. You're going to see some of their roll pass stuff off.
Absolutely, yes.
So again, what we have to do is we got to get good, clean reads, get into our gaps, be disciplined, play downhill, and play your assignment to limit the number of yards they can gain off of a basic play like this.
Yeah, and then this guy, number 5, Divine Diablo here, he's really put in a predicament here because he's got pass responsibilities. Like you said, the roll pass looks the same, the RPO looks the same off of this.
Right.
How do you coach these guys to be decisive when there's all this stuff to look at?
By reading your keys and seeing what's going on. I mean, if this is roll pass, if he pops his feet and takes a look at the guy coming here for the slice block, if he's going to the ground, it's probably
a run. Absolutely. And so this is the other thing. Russell Wilson, we've talked about how they're trying to kind of limit some of what he has to do, but he's still got something to him. He's still Russell Wilson, right?
Yes.
And I look at Max Crosby here, and he's not being the most disciplined rusher of all time, kind of coming inside on this sucker. And Russell, no, he's not the same guy from 5 years ago, but he still can hurt you, like getting out of the pocket.
He can, because again, I saw a stat that was flashed during this game, and it was late, I think it was probably middle of the fourth quarter, that said on his movement passes, he was 8 for 10. That's that's how accurate he was.
Yeah.
And in the first half, he threw 2 touchdown passes, this being one of them.
Yeah.
And again, this is what happens when he extends the plays. Very notorious for what he did in Seattle.
Yep.
He extended plays with his feet, got outside the pocket. He's always looking downfield. And then what they do is they understand whichever side he is, they always come back to where he is in the red zone.
Yeah.
So he gets out to the right. Now watches all of his receivers are all going to break to the right side. Why? Because that's where Russell's scrambling to.
And it's like that scramble drill, right? Kind of putting those guys in good positions. You're putting the quarterback in a position where he can make some throws. So, obviously you got to rush discipline, right? Let's talk about the rush real quick. I mean, Max Crosby was an absolute animal this game, but both touchdowns were because he's ducking his head inside. Right,
and what you would like for him to do right here is just to run through the middle of 82.
Run through kill the chipper.
because the truth of the matter is that guy is not capable of beating Max Crosby.
Yes.
Okay, so he run through the chipper like you said, and what's going to happen is the chipper is either going to get out of the way, or he's going to run him over and create an automatic wall that the quarterback now, if he's going to try and get out, he's got to bubble around right now because he dives inside the chipper, exactly what they want. Watch what Russell does.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
And there he goes.
Yeah, it's almost like they set it up that way so that he can have that escapability to his right side, which he seems to like to do.
Well, and most right-handed quarters, that's where the quarterbacks are going to go, is to their right side. They don't prefer the left. If they do go to the left, more than likely, they're going to throw something quick outside, or they're going to scramble with the ball outside.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so obviously got to keep him in the pocket because, like you said, he wants to be outside. He wants to be running around. One thing that really stuck out to me, too, is that on the defensive side of the ball, these dudes are fast. They are fast at the linebacker position. They got good secondary players. Simmons is great. Surtain, we were talking about how he likes to hold a little bit. Here's your look at, he's down here at the bottom, sorry, but holding here too. But they've got some good coverage players, and they've got guys who can run to the football.
Yes, and that's a big benefit, is being able to play fast.
Yeah.
Because if you can get yourself into the throwing lanes and take away the plays that the quarterback thinks he has, now what happens is he's got to hold the ball. he starts to scramble, and now all of a sudden he tries to force something.
Yeah, and so like I guess with like a young quarterback like Sam Howell, how do you say, hey man, like this play's done. Let's live to play another day. Is that just through reps? Is that through time? Is that?
Well, that again that is through reps. That is through time, but it's also discipline. Being disciplined enough to know, hey, I just throw this away, or hey, I get what I can, and then I get down to protect myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So again, really fast defense. They were aggressive with their kind of man match concepts. I don't know. It's harder for me to tell. This feels like man to me. What do you think, Coach? Man coverage?
I think so. For the most part, it looks like they're playing some sort of either two-man or what we used to call double rover, where you play outside technique and know that you've got help inside.
Yes.
Okay, with your two safeties that are lower. A lot of teams they'll play man free, but what they'll do is they'll take one safety and put him back guarding the goalpost.
Yeah.
And then they put the other guy in the hole. Here, it looks like they're doing what we call a double rover and dropping both safeties down into the hole and telling your DBs all your help is inside.
Yeah, absolutely. And so again, like understanding the different coverages, understanding kind of the speed of the group you're dealing with, and living to play another day, right? I think is the quarterback spot is something you do against this defense, because they were very, very effective against the Las Vegas Raiders. I keep wanting to call them Oakland, but Las Vegas.
Right.
That's right. But yeah, Coach, can't wait to watch this game, and really excited to see what you guys are going to put together, and see what Sam Howell can do too.
Oh yeah, it'll be exciting.
Have you guys heard of the Players Club? Well, if you haven't, you are missing out. This is the program that gets exclusive access to your favorite players, Daron Payne, Jahan Dotson, sitting down with London Fletcher, Santana Moss every single week. Make sure you check it out Saturday nights, 11:35 p.m. on WUSA 9. Coming up next, Coach and I dig deeper into this matchup at Mile High. What's the key to leaving Denver with a dub? I'll ask Coach that next on the Game Plan with Ron Rivera, presented by your local Honda dealer. Welcome back. It's time for some healthy competition presented by Ortho Virginia, official orthopedic and sports medicine partner of the Washington Commanders. All right, let's take a look at the numbers from the Broncos. Obviously, this is from one game, not a lot to take away from here, but they are trying to avoid their first 0-2 start since 2020. They brought in Sean Payton to kind of revamp this offense and get this team going. However, the Commanders went 3-2 versus the AFC last year. Can Ron keep that trend going and get those Broncos to 0-2?
It was always difficult because, Sean's one of those guys that has a lot of answers. He really does, just because he knows how he wants to attack you, and if you counter it, he has something prepared, ready to go. And, and Jack's gone against him as well. So we both have a pretty good understanding, but there's always still that unknown with him. I mean, he's got a quarterback who's very smart, makes good decisions. He's got some skilled position players. So, we're expecting, some stuff that's very similar to things he's done in the past.
Make sure you guys check out Command Center Game Day Live, 3:15 p.m. today. B. Mitch and Santana Moss give their expert analysis, and that show's great because you never know who's going to stop by. Josh Harris came by last week. Who's going to come by this week? We don't know. Make sure you check it out. Right after the game, Command Center post-game live. I'm on air with B. Mitch, and we give our immediate reaction. Last week we had Sam Howell's presser. We had Ron Rivera's presser. Got their insight to the game right away. Make sure you check it out on Commanders YouTube, Facebook, and X. It's time for your ticket to a dub, presented by SeatGeek, the official primary ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. All right, Coach, Denver this week. What is the key to leaving this game with a dub?
Well, I think the biggest thing, more so than anything else, is all three phases have to play and play well. Special teams, we've got to be able to make sure we control their return game. With Mims, they've got a terrific returner. We've got to be able to make sure we can keep him contained. Offensively, protect the quarterback, protect the football, and take what's given to us. And defensively, contain and get after their quarterback, take away the running game, make them one-dimensional.
I mean, obviously, last week, the offense for Denver wasn't overly dynamic, only 16 points. Does that affect your offensive approach at all, or does it kind of keep things status quo for you?
I think it keeps it status quo, mostly because we've only seen what Sean Payton's doing with Russell Wilson as a quarterback in one game.
Yeah, right.
We have the preseason, but in one real game, we've only seen that much. So, again, we want to come out, do our thing, and play, and again, react to what they do. React
to what they do is exactly right. And is there any kind of motivation to kind of run the football a little bit more in these situations? Because it's a young quarterback, quarterback. It's a hostile environment. London Fletcher always says the only thing that travels is defense and rushing attack. He's an older guy, but I want to get your thoughts on that.
No, and I don't disagree. I think the big thing more than anything else is our balance is what's really important for what we do, because if we can be balanced, if we can run the ball successfully, it means we can go good play action.
Sure.
If we can throw the ball downfield, it means that we can run the ball effectively as well.
And so you mentioned Russell Wilson and keeping him in the pocket, and we've talked about that a lot. But they also have some playmakers. You know, Jerry Jeudy might be back. Cortland Sutton is an outstanding football player. How do you kind of match up with those guys in the back end?
I think we match up pretty well.
Yeah.
I think with what we've done, especially coming out of the draft and free agency, I think we've kind of retooled, done a couple things, added a couple guys that give us some flexibility in terms of what Jack wants to do with the coverages.
Yeah, and also I think you got a big guy in Benjamin St. Juste. Yeah. Cortland Sutton's a big guy. You got a kind of a quicker guy in Forbes. Seems like he matches up with Jeudy really well. And linebackers and those running backs. Is there anything you kind of tell them this week? They got a big back. Got to work those tackling drills some more. Put the mouthpiece in. What do we got to do?
We got to work downhill. We got to get the double teams off our guys so we can make a stand and have a solid line across the front, as opposed to holding, waiting, letting that duo block get up a little bit.
Yeah.
So we've got to get downhill, get the duo block off of our tackles so they can make plays.
Well, Coach, I'm always excited to watch this team play. I'm excited for some physical football today. I'm excited for you guys to get the victory today. So appreciate you coming by, Coach. And make sure you join us every Sunday for this great insight.